think the place we stayed in was a dive, but seriously, the best review I could find of it online, genuinely, was the house was where they said it would be. As we were leaving, a group of Syrian refugees turned up and said, "Forget this, boys, we're going back." Now, Tom, as we know, is king of the disses, so I wanted to get some good disses in on him as well. So when we were on the stag, I asked around members of the pack, like, what are the main dishes? What's the main dish to do for Tom? And the overwhelming favourite was gay little brother. No, it's fair. I'm secure in my masculinity, and I do have some camp tendencies, don't worry. I mean, in fact, just last year, I bought tickets to go see the girl band Little Mix in concert. Oh wait, no, that was you, wasn't it? What was it like? Oh yeah, I was the one that series linked every series of both America and Britain's Next Top Model. Oh no, that's it! What was me? Oh yeah. I was the one that cried when my favourite Dorothy sang her goodbye song on Andrew Lloyd Webber's TV show Over the Rainbow. Oh no, that was you! It's been a big year for the Joseph family, actually. Not only have Tom and Rebecca got married, I bought my first home with my girlfriend, and Harriet and Declan are expecting their first baby, and Flossie got her 4th stamp on her Subway loyalty card. I'm taking down everyone now. My brother and I are two very different people, but we do have some shared interests. As pre-teens, we loved the WWF, and actually between 1998 and 2000, we saved £6-pounders. No, of course, I'm talking about the World Wrestling Federation. Deserved better, that joke. We'll keep going. So, if you don't know about WWF, there are 2 programmes on every week. There's Raw and SmackDown. I'd watch Raw on a Friday night when Tom was out drinking and gambling, and then Tom would watch SmackDown on Saturday morning when I was at dance club. We'd fill each other in what happened over egg sandwiches every 7 minutes. Egg sandwiches. One of my fondest memories, actually, was when we were wrestling and he rock-bottomed me onto the bed, smacking my head against the wall, and we worried I'd be permanently paralysed from the neck down. Wasn't that a hoot? I've been told under strict instructions today that I'm not to mention God at all, so I guess that means I can't mention Harry Kane then. He's one of our own! He's one of our own! But yeah, we both support Tottenham Hotspur. And in many ways, marriage is a lot like being a Spurs fan. There will be ups, there will be downs. You will from time to time find yourself looking over at your neighbours thinking the grass looks greener over there. But you will stick by each other through thick and thin, and come to the realisation that as long as you lower your expectations, you'll be disappointed far less frequently. Obviously, my natural abilities at football weren't quite as high as Tom's, but throughout our lives, that never stopped him inviting me along to join in and disappoint. From going over the field behind Balliol to still now playing on every Thursday, here's it. It's a prime example of his supportive and inclusive nature. A final example of a passion that we share is food. Boy, can we both polish off a meal. In fact, it wasn't until I saw how much Rebecca could put away I knew that this must be love. I'm not sure he's quite forgiven me yet for becoming a vegetarian, but we're working on it. In fact, I remember one morning, Jez was trying to spent like an hour trying to get Tom to hoover up the lounge, and after some bargaining, they'd agreed he'd do it after having a couple of slices of toast for breakfast. Once he was finished, Jez was trying to get him to grab the vacuum. He said he couldn't do it because the toast had wiped him out. He can achieve and contribute, though, when he puts his mind to it. In fact, Tommy Tuesdays was an initiative he was very proud to have created. He was very proud to. And what was he? Every Tuesday, Tom would cook us dinner for the whole family. The first Tommy Tuesdays was also the last. And now I come to Rebecca. We had a little celebration when they got engaged, and over the dinner, Rebecca insisted she wanted us to all roast her, give her a comedy roast. And at that moment, I thought, I'm going to make her regret saying that. People have warned me, though, today it might not be in the best taste to make the bride cry on her wedding day, so I won't. It wouldn't be hard, though. All I need to do is tell her what Tom told me at the stag do. But I won't. What I like about that joke is that it's a joke for life. Because as much as he's going to insist that we didn't say anything, it was all a joke, there's always going to be a little bit of doubt in her mind. I asked Rebecca yesterday how she was feeling about the wedding. She said, "Great, I'm really good at being a bride." And good news, Rebecca, I've counted up the votes and you have won the wedding! Rebecca is delighted she now has a surname she can actually definitely pronounce. It's a shame you don't take the groom's middle name as well, Rebecca. I actually met Rebecca before Tom did, funnily enough. We used to go to lots of game nights a lot. And I'll be honest, when I first met Rebecca, I thought she was just a whiny sore loser with the mind of a 5-year-old. But I've really seen you grow up over the last few years, Rebecca, into a whiny sore loser with the mind of an 8-year-old. So, still dots our eyes with hearts. Unbelievable, right? But funnily enough, I was there on the night that Tom and Rebecca met. But I'll more fondly remember it as the night I met bridesmaids Liz and Laura, and when it was Liz's turn on charade, she went up and complained that my dad had given her a massive hard one. I did a reading at Harry and Dec's wedding where my mum complained I'd mentioned Dad in it and not her. And it's at this point right in the speech that I realised I'd mentioned Jez twice already, so I'd better say that Tom has grown up to be a great guy because of her loving, nurture and winning genes, and I wouldn't have been able to write this speech had I not grown up around her creative mind and impeccable comic timing. Anyway, back to Tom and Rebecca. I haven't written this one down actually, because I was expecting this story to have come up before, but I was also on that night that I walked straight into the room. I didn't know that there was any attraction to Tom. I walked straight into the room and Rebecca went, "You're not Tom." That was when I got it. So yeah, Rebecca was a close family friend, and we're all delighted that she's managed to woo Tom. Although, I'll be honest, it did take me and my sisters, it made us a bit uneasy seeing him be a boyfriend at first. We weren't used to, he was no Casanova. If anything, he found women to be a nuisance. So when Becky here managed to thaw his icy heart, it took some getting used to, for example, before Rebecca, if Tom ever saw a kitten, he'd never say it's cute. He was too much of a lad for that. He would be like, "So cool!" And if he ever made a speech, instead of praising the parents for who they are, he would compliment himself, because he couldn't really give a nice heart-to-heart in front of other people. He was kind of the black sheep of the family, Tom. He didn't channel his emotions through the medium of theatre like the rest of us. There's not a creative bone in that body. In fact, I would go so far as to say he's utterly talentless. It's actually through the theatre company we're all a part of that we met Rebecca, and we never had a doubt that she'd slot right in. Rebecca, you're the half Iranian sister I never had. In many ways, you're the perfect Joseph. Loud, attention-seeking, but above all, a killer dancer. Show us a move. Yeah, very good, very good. I'm sure everybody will agree with me that she's looking very beautiful. Delete this part if she ends up looking really ugly. She's looking very beautiful. Now, I should have deleted that part because I'm very impressed. I love the crown. Didn't write that down because I didn't No, she's going to have one. So, yeah, looking very hot. High five to that.
Well played. Well played.
I was high-fiving Tom because you've managed to pull you, is what I said. And I'm also going to ask for a high five from Aaron and Heather for creating you, because yeah, it's good genes you got there.
Well done. Well done.
There's nothing that means more to me than my family, and I couldn't be happier that it continues to grow and get stronger. Now, I would ask you to do a toast. I found we've done 2 toasts already, so instead, I'd like you to all join me in a rendition of the Sister Sledge classic, We Are Family. We are family! Keep it going. I got all my sisters with me, just the groom side. We are family. Here we go in. I got all my sisters with me, just the bride side. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. Now just the ladies. We are family. I got all my sisters with me. And the fellas. We are family. Once more, everyone! We are family! I got all my sisters with me! Thank you very much.